Hey, what's going on? This is Mando Crusader, and welcome to episode 8 of our playthrough of Sunless Skies. Last episode, we acquired all of the necessary components to make our trip to Albion, and today, we're actually going to make that trip. So, yeah, the beginning of this episode is going to be pretty straightforward. Just going to be a pretty much a beeline to Port Prosper with a quick little side stop over at Magdalen's to finish a quest. But it's going to be really interesting later in the episode. Once we get to Albion, really cool stuff over there, including London itself. So you're going to want to stick around. You're going to want to stick around for that. That's really cool. Also, before we get into this episode, if you like this video and you like this my content, hit the like button. That's what it's there for. Also, subscribe, ring the bell, and comment below what other games you want me to play on this channel. I'm open to all suggestions, and I will do the best that I can to play them. And with that out of the way, I'm going to take a trip down to Magdalen's, and I'll see you when I get there. Unless, of course, I find something else before then. Oh, we seem... Ouch. We seem to have discovered a star-maddened explorer. Considering our low amount of haul, I'm wondering if it'd be better to just gun it. Yep, we're just gonna gun it. We're just gonna pretend like nothing happened. We're just gonna ignore that pirate over there. But we aren't going to ignore this, the wreck of the Duluth. Yeah, we're just gonna mourn the dead. And continue on to Magdalen's. Alright, here we are. Quick pit stop. Very, very quick. Because we need to speak to the amenable host. Right, so what will you tell the amenable host? So, for those of you who haven't seen the previous couple episodes, this guy, the amenable host, has sent us on a quest to go to a couple of ports and see if we can find anyone who recognizes his picture. We didn't really find anything. So we gotta figure out what we're gonna tell him here. You have pursued his memories enough to have an answer for him. Let's see. The amenable host closes his hands around his returned locket. Now it comes to it, I'm not sure I want to know, but I've sent you out. He drums his fingers against his cup. We don't spare our guests the truth, so why should I be any different? He fills goblets for you both. Well, out with it. Well, we can confirm his identity to be any one of these, although we have no idea, or we could just tell the truth. I think, because we're an honest chap, I think we're just gonna tell the truth and ask which would he prefer to have been. We are what we make ourselves, after all. Nothing at all. He gazes at you for a long, solemn minute. Abruptly, he stands and removes 2 polished glasses and fills a filled decanter from a box in the wall. He places 1 glass before you and fills it deep. I suppose I should commend your nerve in giving me that answer. He fills his own glass and finishes it in 1 swift swig. my own self, cindered ash in the kiln of my ambition. He gives you a crooked smile. So goes the teaching of Magdalene's. He goes to a drawer and takes out a sealed envelope. For all your trouble, I am who I have chosen to be. I have that, at least. What we gained 500 sovereigns, so that's really nice. And yeah, write a port report. And, yeah, that's all we came here for. Oh, the keepsake market's opened up. Nah, there's nothing we want to do here. Alright, so with that little errand out of the way, now we can get to Port Prosper. And, head off to Albion. And I'm really excited about this. So, yeah, see you in a minute. Actually, I won't see you in a minute. I'll see you right now because we have a wreck. This is perfect. Strip the wreck for repairs. Oh, look at all that hull. 11 hull. Now we're healthy again. Now we are healthy again. Alright. Now, I'll see you in a minute. Another wreck? My, my, this is our lucky day. The Din. You know what? I think I'm not gonna, even though we probably would succeed here, we have a 74% chance of success. To be honest, I kind of just want to fill up our hull. Because hull repairs are expensive. And, well, now we have plenty of money. But still, I'd rather not spend it all on repairing my hull. And we've arrived in Port Prosper. We're almost to our destination. Let's stop in real quick. To the very least, grab a port report. Alright, a port report. We can also attend a performance at the Gaudy Widow. The vaudeville theater tends towards either quaint or vulgar, or, on good days, both. Located at the edge of the West End, overlooking the bridge, the Gaudy Widow promises unpretentious delights for most of the family. Although out of fashion in New London, the broad amusements of pantomime and vaudeville still carry favor with the well-heeled of the West End. They are, of course, careful to never enjoy themselves too much. "She's behind you," a poster reads. What japes. Yeah, we're just gonna enjoy ourselves. We're just gonna enjoy ourselves. Yeah, 60% chance. We have it. Our hearts gives us a 60% chance of success, and we succeed. You find your companions in the stalls, armed with boiled sweets and roast chestnuts. You soon have the vicar hopping about the stage, while the exuberant widow is almost beside herself with laughter. The interval, and subsequently the rest of the second act, is a hazy affair. We're embraced by the East Enders. They're our people. In something, working class. Over here because our characters are revolutionary. But that's not important. What's important is we can go to Albion. So, dock here, the first order of business is to bribe the superintendent to give you a travel permit. We have a 100% chance of success, so we're going to spend 500 sovereigns on that, and look at that, we just gained 500 sovereigns from that quest. So isn't that just perfect? So bribe the superintendent to give you a travel permit. You must be circumspect. It is possible the poor fellow is afflicted with morals. Succeed greasing the wheel. Your generous donation to the Relay Workers Christmas Fund is gratefully accepted, although you notice that it is at no time recorded in any ledger. The superintendent is happy to present you with a little booklet of bright blue. Your travel permit. So we can now travel to Albion. Next, we need to present ourselves to customs. Every relay is on the hunt for contraband. A pinch-faced inspector boards the ship with their retinue. Come on, hurry up. If you've nothing to hide, you've nothing to fear. Their mouth cracks into something, almost but not entirely like a smile. Nothing from me, at least. Nothing to declare. You have nothing to hide, and nothing to fear. A clean sweep. The pinch-faced inspector almost looks disappointed at having to give you a clean bill of passage. Such a waste of time, they mutter, stamping the customs forms. Go on. No reason to take up space here. Now, this will be important because eventually we can smuggle. And we are certainly going to be doing that because it is very, very profitable. So this will be a concern when we're able to do that. Your business here is concluded. It is time to continue your adventures in the high wilderness. We shall return to our engine. And then travel to Albion, second class. You'll need to supply your own hours. The relay station will spin them into a coat to wrap your engine against the winds that harry the wild paths you must travel. And there's those 2 barrels of unseasoned hours we got at Lustrum. Now we could go first class, not first pass, if we had a ministry stamped permit. But those, at least in the Reach, are kind of hard to come across unless you're working for the Windward Company, which we are not. So we're going to be doing second class a lot, especially in the early game. Away! You deliver the barrels to the relay's hour looms, which clink and grind. They spin a jacket of fresh time in which your locomotive will make its journey. Enclosed in your engine's pocket of hours, it's hard to say how long the passage will take. Unseasoned hours tend to be melancholy and anxious. Your journey is likely to be wearing. The machinery grinds and stirs, the steam vents, the sigils of the edifice burn with sullen fire. A force like a great hand seizes your engine. You've lost our hours, and our terror has fallen. And off we go to Albion. This contraption always reminded me of like the Stargate from Stargate. Funny how names work like that. And here we are in Albion. Albion. So, if my memory serves, London should always be in the center of the map. So that is where we are going to go first. So I suppose I'll see you guys when I get there. Here we are, I think. Maybe the outskirts of London. Ah, this is one of the new things you can find in Albion. It is Bully's Acre. Humble wooden coffins pepper the sky here. This is a Bully's Acre, a pauper's graveyard. There is little room for the dead in London. We can pay our respects and reduce terror, or we can just break open a coffin and, you know, just some grave robbing. You know, no one's ever been put in jail for that, I would assume. So we're just gonna do that. And oh, This is really good. A condemned experiment. These are really hard to come by. So it's good that we just have one. It's always good to have at least one on hand, because they're so hard to come by. You never know when you're going to need one. The Treasures of Heaven. After several silent minutes stood at the window, watching coffins drift by, a keen-eyed signaler cries out. A flash of silver. You hurry to the footplate, coal shovel in hand, to hook the coffin as it passes. You almost stumble over into the sky, but you reach the coffin with its crest of silver and haul it aboard. The crest is the university's. The silver is real, as are the chains that seal the coffin. You fetch the bolt cutters. Inside, an experimental device for fracturing navartine, too precious to leave in the hands of academic scholarship, apparently. Nice. I'm actually really, really happy that we got that. So, coming up here, we should find, I think, the Wit and Vinegar Logging Company, which, speak of the devil, which is very important, because remember how I just talked about, smuggling? This is where you get started with that. So, the Wit and Vinegar Lumber Company. The head offices of a lumber concern that imports bronzewood from the Reach. The Wit and Vinegar Loading Dock. The Wit and Vinegar Lumber Company operates primarily in the Reach, mining bronzewood and transporting it back to London for construction, furniture, and locomotive plating. Its loading platform is frequented by brawny, wind-bitten men lugging slabs of bronzewood into the warehouse. Wait a second. Take your leave. Oh, do I not? Wait a second. Hold on. Do I not have enough affiliation villainy? Do I need more villainy? In order to do this? Huh. Well, I guess we can't do anything there yet. I have the facet, too. We're gonna have to come back to that one. We're gonna have to come back. But that's of no matter, because something even bigger is right over here. And it is London. We haven't found the thing yet. Oh! The Ministry's monitors. St. Dominic's station is thick with crowds. A brass band plays. The cause of the excitement is an unfamiliar locomotive in imperial blue. A delicate, gleaming craft whose elongated nose houses an array of lenses. A top-headed official from the Ministry of Public Decency is delivering a speech. The first of a fleet of new Monitor-class locomotives. They will be Her Majesty's watchdogs, scouring the skies for the enemies of Albion. The crowd cheers. Well, most of them. Lend your voice to the protests. Not all the crowd are enthusiastic. A desperate mix of proletariat, academics, and bohemians heckle the speaking official. Yes. The Watchdog. A skeptical academic is curious to who these enemies of Albion are. Criminals? Unionists? Anyone whose opinions differ from those of Her Majesty? A scowling station worker adds his tuppence worth. All of them fancy scopes and sounding equipment? That's for spotting smugglers. The revenue men put a lot of money into this. Another grunts. This isn't the first one either. This is all just for show. The monitors are already out there, watching. One of the more fiery objectors flings a half-brick. It rings on the plating like a bell, scratching the fresh blue paint. The constabulary close in, you scatter. So, as the text down here says, this is the signal for us encountering a new type of ship or engine, while we're flying around. The Ministry monitors. Now, the big thing with these, they're actually pretty easy to kill, but they know if you're smuggling. So, with the smuggling mechanics, one of the things you can buy is a concealed hold that will just conceal all of your contraband when you're going through the gates and whatnot. Those don't work on the monitors. They will know if you're carrying contraband no matter what. So, once we start smuggling, we're really going to have to start looking out for these. But, in the meantime, we get a savage secret. An approach from a gloomy middleman. Oh! Never mind. This is what triggers the smuggler storyline. No sooner have you pulled into the sidings than a long-faced man in a battered coat approaches your locomotive and asks for a moment of your time. This story was unlocked because we have 40 veils. Hear what he has to say. He fiddles with the bent brim of his hat as you approach, his face as solemn as a basset hound. An offer of work. His voice is nasal, his eyes gray. I will not wish you a good day. You are a person of intelligence, and the day is manifestly miserable. I myself am newly afflicted by the gout, which has made my mornings a parade of wretchedness. No doubt you have your own misfortunes, into which I will not pry. I truly love the writing in this game. Instead, let us move to the happier subject of business. You have come to my attention for the very reasons you avoid others, your subtlety and your cunning. My employer may have work for you. Profitable work, but perilous and profoundly illegal. Should you be interested, seek me at the Admiral Benbow Inn here in London. With that, he takes his leave, tutting at the thickness of the fog before he dons his crooked hat and vanishes into the crowd. So we need to speak to him, and now we are in London. So, we can explore London, we have our ambition, and we need to complete Captain Whitlock's quest. So I think first we're going to do our ambition, because that's the most exciting. Ambition, I mean, it's all exciting, but still. Ambition, Jubilation Day. During Jubilation Day, London celebrates its conquest of the sun that once ruled Albion. Clergy of the new sequence, backed by exultant choirs, preach from every balcony, extorting the light and order of the man-made clockwork sun. Banners flutter from state buildings, hosannas are sung to the Queen, fireworks crack in the sky, dying in brief blazes. The last time you saw the earnest agitator, you attended the festivities together. See, watch the burning of a gilded effigy. In Hyde Park, where avenues are lined with bronzewood saplings, broad as old oaks, crowds have gathered. The old king. Flames lick at the king of ours' shins. His gillet peels and blackens. When the fire reaches his waist, and one arm cracks and falls into the conflagration, the crowd cheers. When you were here with the earnest agitator, she seemed distracted. Once you caught her watching you, the firelight gold in her face. When you asked what the matter was, she said nothing, and turned away. We're going to purchase a bag of rubbery lumps. They don't taste like they did back when London lay in its gloomy cavern below the earth. Presumably, one can't get the lumps, but lump substitutes have been invented. A blessed mystery. It is best not to speculate upon what hides within their crunchy batter. You have been chewing this one for some time, for example, and the less you know, the better. When you were here with the earnest agitator, she brought 1 bag of lumps for you and 2 for herself. She considered herself a connoisseur. Return to the place you last saw your friend. Soon the clocks will chime 11. the hour you parted. The two of you had walked to the edge of Southwark Isle in order to escape the crowds. Surrounded by the sky. London sprawls across plates of skyrock, connected with bridges, funiculars, stairs, and, in less celebrous cases, ladders. Southwark is one of the higher plates. A simple railing discourages you from its edge. The clockwork sun is behind you, dimmed for the night. Stretching before you are darker skies, studded with far fiercer stars. Below, where the lower, poorer districts are caked in smog, the sounds of raucous celebrations continue. The clocks begin to chime. Your friend is not here. You find a bench and wait. Fireworks flare and whistle. The clocks strike 12 at precisely the same second. The horological office keeps them to perfect time. Still, there is no sign of your friend. The clocks chime 1. She is not coming. So we need to find our friend. So, ambition, find your missing friend. The earnest agitator did not come to your arranged meeting. Something is wrong. The seasoned captain said she was spending most of her time in London. She must have lodgings here. So, we either need 2 Salon's Dude Gossip or 5 the Ministry's Gratitude. And I don't think we're going to be getting this. So, we're going to need to find a way to get 2 Salon Stewed Gossip. Now, I believe that the stovepipe engines in the Reach have a chance of giving you Salon Stewed Gossip, but we are nowhere in a position to fight them yet. So that we're going to have to find another way. But still, we have other things to do in London, such as the House Without Windows. To find the address in Captain Whitlock's will, you make your way through little-used streets in one of London's lower, smoggier levels. On a secluded courtyard, flanked by the backs of warehouses and factories, stands a tall, grey house with 1 door and no windows. When you knock, a blind butler answers. Yes? Deliver the black box. Fulfill Captain Whitlock's last requests. The end of the line. The butler is pleased. Ah, our resident has arrived. Please bring him in. Everything has been prepared according to Captain Whitlock's instructions. You maneuver the black box inside. You ask what those instructions were. She has arranged for Master Jacob's convalescence with us. I understand the young gentleman has suffered from a prolonged illness, which has left him unable to speak and afflicted him with a delicate disposition. His expression is entirely impassive. The affairs of the house have been organized in such a way as to never inconvenience him. He will require no visitors. An extensive library has been provided for his edification. Privacy is paramount. With the box in place, the butler produces a key from his pocket, but waits for you to leave before using it. Thank you for your assistance, comrade. If Amila was still with us, she would thank you. Good day. You leave the house without windows behind. The matter of Captain Whitlock's legacy finally discharged. So, now we don't have this ominous black box hanging over our head anymore. We've gained 2,000 experience. We've gained 1 sky story and 1 savage secret. Finally, we can explore London. And we need to attend a meeting with a gloomy middleman. He conducts business in a smoky corner of the Admiral Benbow Inn, down in the smoggy lower levels of the city. Smuggling. The middleman is nursing the same glass of beer he began the evening with. Ah, comrade, to claim it as a good evening would be duplicitous, but it is at least an evening, and here you are in it. He waits until you sit. My employer can open a profitable door for you. There are goods that Her Majesty's government does not want to see bought or sold. Prohibition begets scarcity. Scarcity begets profit. One example of this contraband is red honey, gathered by the Midnight Rose and Titania. Unfortunately, supplies have dried up. Prove your value, find out why, and fix the problem. So before we can start smuggling on our own, we need to complete this quest. So we're going to need to go back to the Reach and to Titana. And hopefully we will be able to do that relatively soon, because the money you make from smuggling really is just hand over fist. Do we need anything for this from the Silken Salon? No. Next up we have the Steam and Sapphire Yards. And this is where we discover the Underground Railway. You've heard of a less than legal organization operating out of the Steam and Sapphire Yards. You've heard of they pay for information and may offer work to the bold, the clever, and those willing to displease Her Majesty. And I mean, we're all about displeasing the establishment. So reach out to your criminal contacts. You have friends in low places. Perhaps they know something. We can do this because we have 2 affiliation villainy. A lead. Your connections are reluctant to talk. I hear the Denablies have been sniffing about. Less known, the better. London's deniable constables, the plainclothes instruments of Her Majesty's displeasure, are a persistent superstition of the underclass. Eventually, a dubious rag and bone man directs you to one of the engine houses. Talk to the bookkeeper. He'll see you right. Visit the stalwart bookkeeper. He occupies a tiny, smoky office cobbled together from corrugated iron sheets in the back of one of the engine sheds. It is stacked with nicotine-stained account books and boxes full of oily brackets. The bookkeeper looks up as you enter and gestures to a chair. Chat with the bookkeeper. He offers you a cup of tea, savagely stewed and swimming with sugar. Learn how you can be of use to the New Street Line. A job on the side. He is deaf, but content to communicate through sign language or messages scribbled on a pad of paper. Obliquely, he explains that he does additional work for an organization unaffiliated with the government, which has an urgent need for up-to-date reports on other parts of Albion. His patrons will pay for such intelligence to be brought to them, rather than to the ministry. What's more, he implies, earning the organization's trust might open the possibility of additional work. So this is who we're going to be taking our port reports to in Albion. So, yeah. So, unfortunately, I'm gonna cut it off here. We're running a little bit over time, but this is a momentous occasion. We've discovered London. We're in a brand new region, and this region is probably my second favorite. Albion's really, really cool, and it's got a lot of cool stuff that I can't wait to rediscover. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, again, leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell, and comment telling me any games you want me to play. And, yeah, that's about it. See ya.